What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03, and I'm starting to get cautiously optimistic about this Pistons team. In today's video, I want to talk about something that has been a big talking point, big topic in Piston circles, and that is, should Cade be a point guard on this team? So there's a couple things I want to go over. First, we're going to talk about the turnovers and the facts and stats behind that, kind of an elephant in the room here. We're going to talk about what our other options would be, and then we're going to talk about some of the reasons why I believe that, spoiler alert, Cade should continue to be the point guard for this team. So just to kind of go over, broad overview, what the stats say as of today, 10 games into the season. Currently, Cade is averaging 4.8 turnovers per game. That is definitely and clearly the reason why some people feel like he might be suited better in a shooting guard, small forward type of role, maybe not bringing the ball up the court and initiating the offense every play as he more or less has been. 4.8 turnovers, that's second in the NBA behind James Harden, who is averaging 5.3. There's a couple guys right in the same ballpark. LaMelo's averaging 4.6, Trey's averaging 4.4, Ja's averaging 4.3. That's all right there in marginal striking distance of where Cade has been in the turnover department. To go along with those 4.8 turnovers, he has 8.2 assists per game, which is kind of getting somewhat close to a 2-to-1 turnover ratio, which to me is kind of the bar of what you would hope for or expect out of a point guard. There's some more advanced stats about turnovers we can talk about. Turnover percentage, which isn't a great formula, has him 14th in the league, a lot more encouraging than second. Right now, he's behind guys like Scoot Henderson, a few of those other guys who turn over the ball a good bit right now. And that turnover percentage is calculated by comparing turnovers to a lot of their shots and things like that. I'm out the initiate. And then there's also another one that I was looking at here that is a Hollinger stat. And I just lost it. I have so many tabs up right now about these stats, but it was also more encouraging. And I believe that formula is a little bit better. So long story short, the turnovers, if you're looking at the raw stats, don't look great that he's second in the league, but when you start to factor in how often he initiates the offense, how many assists he gets, all of that type of stuff, it doesn't paint as bad of a picture. I used a website called the High Low to filter out and look at every turnover Cade has had this year. Watch them all live, but was a bit of a refresher to go back and watch every single turnover this year. And the way I feel about it is there's two types of turnovers that Cade typically commits. The one type of turnover that I am completely fine with is the turnovers where he is in a pick and roll or going for a swing pass where he is creating an opportunity for a teammate where if the pass gets through, it's going to be a really good shot and it happens to get stolen, deflected out of bounds, whatever it might be. And those turnovers I am totally okay with. Turnovers are not all created equal. A lot of these turnovers I'm talking about are dead ball turnovers where the ball goes out of bounds. We can get back, set our defense. We're not giving up easy transition buckets off of these. He's looking to make the right read. He makes the right read and it doesn't work out. I'm okay with those all day, every day, because he has shown that he can make those types of passes at a good clip. When you're handling the ball as much as Cade and you're making as many plays as Cade, those turnovers are going to happen. But there's another subset of turnovers that I'm not a fan of. Those are the live ball turnovers where I can't find better words to describe them. They appear lazy. I don't think they're out of laziness from Cade, but they appear lazy. They're this asleep at the wheel turnovers where he's going to initiate the offense and he's bringing the ball up the court. He's 30 feet away from the hoop. Maybe he gets his pocket picked. Maybe he tries to drop in a pass to Ivy on the wing or JD at the elbow to initiate a set. And the pass appears to be lazy. It doesn't strike. Cade isn't a lazy guy, but that's what it looks like from the outside looking in. But they're the sleep at the wheel turnovers where he's just kind of losing the ball at 30 feet away from the hoop, 25 feet away from the hoop. And these are the ones that normally lead to wide open layups and dunks on the other end. And those are the ones you want to go away. Those have been a thing for Cade most of his career so far. In his rookie season, in his second year that was short, I was very, very happy to write those off as, oh, he's young. Those will smooth themselves out, but they're still happening at a clip that you would like to see maybe be reduced a little bit this far into his career on year 4, realistically his 3rd season. But you would like to see those go away still, and those are the turnovers that I think are the reasons why some people say maybe he should be at the 2 or the 3, having somebody else bring the ball up the 4, and then look for him, get him the ball on the wing, and then let him go to work from there. Or run a pin down screen for him and let him catch the ball and then kind of go to work from there. So all in all, I want to talk about what are the other options on our team currently. Right now, the other options would be letting Jaden and Ivy bring the ball up the floor more when they're on the floor together anyways. Is that an option? I guess so, but I'm not that much more encouraged by Jaden Ivy's ability to control the ball either. I love Jaden Ivey, love everything he has done this season, but I think that he has a lot of the same issues with Cade, with the turnovers, just in a different way. But I don't think that he is a pure point guard himself, and I don't think that shifting the ball into his hands to bring the ball up the floor every play is any better or would lead to any better results. I think those turnovers that Cade gets would probably just shift to Ivy and might not be better, could potentially be worse, because a lot of these advanced turnover stats say that Ivy has a lot of the same issues, if not worse, with turnovers than Cade. Marcus Sasser is another option, another guy who isn't a pure point guard either, hasn't seen the floor much at all this year. So if you want to talk about a pure point guard, we don't have any on the roster. The closest thing we have to one is Cade, and that's why I do feel like for right now it's the best idea to keep him in that position. So something else I want to talk about. People have talked about going and getting Markelle Fultz off the free agent market or somebody like that, or trading for one of these types of guys, or going and getting players like Dennis Smith Jr. Over the offseason, people brought up Tyus Jones, who is more of a set-the-table, traditional type of point guard. I am historically a big advocate for these types of players. I am always a fan of a traditional point guard who sets the table and lets other players get the shots, but the thing about it is Cade has a special trait as a 6'7" point guard that gives you a bunch of defensive versatility on the other end. And when you bring in a guy like Tyus Jones and shift Cade to the wing, that defensive versatility and one of Cade's best traits as a player and one of his best advantages that he brings to a roster gets completely thrown out of the window if you go and get one of these set-the-table point guards to play alongside next to him. Is it worth it to have your roster shrink in size and length by that big of a margin to reduce the turnovers by 2 a game? I don't think so. I personally don't think so. To me, Cade has shown that he can make plays for himself. He can make plays for others. I think that a lot of his turnovers are totally fine. Any player who handles the ball as much as Cade is going to turn the ball over. There's just 1 or 2 a game where he seems to make a pass that he regrets the second it leaves his fingertips, or he gets his pocket picked 30 feet away from the hoop and it leads to a wide open dunk on the other end. Those I would like to see him improve on, and considering that he is still very, very young, all things considered, I think he can and I think he will. And I think that what Cade brings to the table as far as defensive versatility and his playmaking is enough to overweigh what these turnovers are currently today, and in the future I think it'll only get better. So let me know what you guys think. I know this is kind of a hot topic in the Pistons fan base right now. We'll be curious to hear what you all have as an opinion. I feel like the comments will be pretty split on this one, so I'm looking forward to reading them. I'll catch up with you guys soon.